Our next speaker is a passionate advocate for workplace wellness and leadership development. She's the CEO of Upstream Strategy Partners and co founder of the Cadence Speaker Academy, where she helps organizations integrate mental health awareness into their culture. Drawing from her own journey, balancing corporate leadership with personal challenges, she founded Mind Wellness University, a training initiative that equips businesses to build healthier, more resilient teams. Today, she'll share why mental health is everybody's business and introduce practical strategies that can help to create workplaces built on safety, trust, accountability, and respect. Please join me in welcoming Melanie Schwarz.
Thank you, Phyllis. So happy to be here. I want to start with the topic of mental health. And I know that in this day and age, it's a topic that we hear about all the time. And unfortunately, last week we had a crisis in our country. And one of the first things that was said after the crisis was, I'll bet that person had a mental health challenge. Well, yes, I'm sure that he does. But the problem is really this. Mental health challenges at that level have become a crisis. And the truth of it is, mental health actually comes in a continuum. It comes in small, little bite sized pieces of your life, little things that are bothering you, little things that are an annoyance. So if you think about your mental health on a spectrum from 1 to 10, he was probably having a 10 moment. But how many times in our lives are we having those ones and twos? And where are we taking them? We are usually taking them to our work, and we're usually experiencing them with our family. So it is really important that we think about how do we manage our mental health in the workplace? And if you're a leader or a business owner, how do you build a culture that brings mental health awareness into the workplace in a way that everybody feels respected and trust, and there's trust built? So I want you to think about in the last week, since we've had kind of an interesting week in the news and mental health is again at the forefront, think about yourself. When was the last time you had a little mental health challenge in this last week? And what was it? So here's a couple of examples because oftentimes people think of mental health as this big breakdown crisis, when in all actuality, it starts with something as simple as my dog ate the socks again and had to go to the vet, and I have a $2,000 vet bill. That alone can trigger a mental health challenge in someone, especially if you're financially struggling or whatever. And so I've got this dog, he ate my socks again, and now I have to go to work. And I'm going to take all of this baggage with me to work. I'm annoyed, I'm distracted, I'm out of money again, and I bring it into my workplace. And when that happens, oftentimes the people that know you really well might take notice of, wow, you okay this morning? But the people that maybe don't know you as well just kind of pass it off and have the same expectation they had for you yesterday. The other example that I would think about is many of our family members are also having struggles, and those struggles attach to us, and we bring them to work with us as well. I was recently talking to a friend of mine, and her mother is aging and she needs to stop driving. And all the siblings got together and decided that my friend should be the one that should tell their mother that they shouldn't drive anymore. So I'll call her Carol. Carol goes to work, and instead of working, Carol is now Googling or Chat GPTing what are the resources for me if I need to have my mother stop driving. So she's having a mental health challenge. It's just not the big crisis that you're expecting. Let's talk about how we can address this in the workplace. When we have people that come to work with these mental health challenges at any point of that spectrum, and all of a sudden we're like, what do we do? How do we manage this? How can we be sure that they're okay? We like to use what we call the STAR framework. It's an easy acronym that anybody can use. It can be used in your workplace, it can be used for your family, anywhere you want to go. So, STAR stands for safety, trust, accountability, and respect. When we talk about building a culture of around mental health awareness, we really encourage the idea that mental health should be in your top three priorities of your business. And why do I say that? Because when you have a healthy workforce that is mentally healthy and physically healthy, and their life is balanced in a way that they're able to bring their whole self to work, they feel safety, and safety brings great numbers of productivity. 62% of people who feel safe and respected at work actually have 62% less burnout than their counterpart. That's an amazing number. Think of the ROI and the productivity and all of the things that you can get out of somebody that is never burned out because you've built this amazing foundation of wellness in your workplace. So that's the safety piece, right? We want people to feel safe that they're coming to work, that their job isn't in jeopardy every single day, that they can speak up in a meeting. How many people have been in a meeting with a bunch of people and you're dying to say something, but you just can't because you know you're going to get in trouble? We don't want that. We don't want you to feel like you're in trouble ever at work. You should feel like it's a community, a piece of your life. So let's go to the T. That's trust. Trust is built every single day in a non crisis mode. You want to build trust continuously. You want to have it with you all of the time. You want to be able to trust that the person that you work with has your back. So when there is a crisis, or if it does escalate and your mental health does escalate, you have people around you already that you're safe with and that you trust. When I move into the accountability piece, I think it's really interesting because accountability is really for the leader. It's for the business owner or the leader to really take the accountability in a scenario where there's a mental health challenge. And here's what I mean by that. When we take accountability, we are the person that is laying the groundwork of a timeline. Let's just say that, right? So somebody comes in, let's say you've had a worker that's been tremendously responsible, always on time, but for the last 5 days, they've been late every single day. You can go in and you can take the punitive action of, hey, you're late, I'm writing you up, don't know what's going on, get your act together. Or you could go down the STAR framework and say, oh my gosh, I noticed you've been late for 5 days in a row. Really unlike you, is something going on? If that employee feels comfortable to tell you what's going on, which is, gosh, I've been taking the kids to daycare, been running late every day, not used to this schedule yet, getting back to school, all of those things. And you can say, oh my gosh, good to know. If we give you a couple of weeks of accommodation here, is that going to be enough for you to kind of get yourself back on schedule? Yes. Okay. So I have set the accountability timeline for that employee. He knows that he has 2 weeks to kind of get in the new mode and get in his schedule and get in his groove. And then after 2 weeks, I'm going to check in with him again. Hey, Joe, how's your schedule going? How's it going getting those kids to daycare and one to school? And Joe's like, whew, I finally got it. I think I'm good. Okay, great. We'll be expecting to see you back on your regular schedule. Accountability. You did it. It's great. People love it. People thrive in accountability. Use it, please. Third or fourth one is respect. Respect is also just one of those amazing tools that you learn to respect people based off of their actions. You know when you respect someone, you can feel it. It's almost like an instant gratification. On the flip side, you also know when you can't respect someone. They've crossed a line, it's gone too far. So when we're working in the STAR framework, we want to make sure that we have all of those pieces. Safety, making sure that people feel like they're in an environment that they can thrive in. Trust, I trust the people around me that they'll take care of me if needed. Accountability, my leader knows what they're doing and they've adequately resourced and have the policies that we need for this type of an event. And trust. Trust is built in, again, just these day-to-day conversations and day-to-day doing what you say you're going to do. What this brings us to is a solid foundation. You're talking about mental health in the workplace every single day. It isn't there's no stigma to it. There's no, we don't want to know. There's no, it's none of my business. It is your business. It's your business to make sure that all of the employees are in an environment that they're thriving in. And a thriving employee is a happy employee. So, with that, I want to wrap up with this. Think about mental health as something that's happening to you every single day, just like your physical health. Embrace it. Like, learn to identify it and really know what's happening within you. And then be aware of how it's affecting people around you, how your mental health's affecting them, how their mental health is affecting you, and be that collaborator in their mental health journey. I hope this has been help for you, and I hope that you'll implement the STAR framework in your workplace as soon as possible. Have a great afternoon.